All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our Thursday call. I'm very excited to be sharing with you over the next hour, approximately this amazing information that got shared with me when January of this year. And guys, since I've been taking this amazing product, my life hasn't been the same. We're going to hear us to later tonight on some testimonials from people who've been on the product way longer than I have. I've only been involved utilizing the amazing water treatment product since February. And there's people that's been involved in this for years. And you're going to hear some testimonials today for some people who I personally share this with, who have got an amazing testimonial in such a short period of time, my friends. So it says here, an opportunity of a lifetime has arrived. Absolutely, my friends. So, we're going to do a last blast. Anybody that you need to send a final reminder out, let them know we are started. We're getting going on this Thursday call, right? So it says here, an opportunity of a lifetime has arrived. For me, my friends, it's a product of a lifetime that has arrived. This company that you see logo called Timol, we're going to be going into what they've been able to bring to the table. And what they brought to the table is extraordinary, my friends. If you're somebody who values getting the best for your body, make sure you stay on to the end of this call, because you're going to hear how amazing this system hydrates you. Now, my friends, why are we even on this call today for this hour? I do many different things. I know many of you have different hats. You're entrepreneurial. You do different things just in your life in general. We're busy, okay? No shadow of a doubt. We're more busy now than we've ever been in history, all right? We've got cell phones. We're just, we have got everything on our fingertips, and yet we're so incredibly busy. And as a result of that, our lifestyle, our food choices may kind of not be the best because of our ongoing need to be here, there, and everywhere. And that was kind of me when I'm on the go, guys. Anything will do, anything that will fit that gap. And unfortunately, a lot of what we call acidic food, junk food, fast food, it does leave, unfortunately, a bit of a problem to our bodies. It causes, and not to say it's the only thing, because there's many different factors that we're dealing with in 21st century living. But a lot of these carbonated drinks and highly saturated drinks with sugars, processed foods, I mean, they are a big danger to our day-to-day living, especially if you make this a daily staple. If you have it now and then, you may be fine, not a problem. But if it's a daily thing, having these chips, and you've seen some of the films, Super Size Me. What happens when somebody went to a famous food chain with the M logo? What happened to their body, right? And so you don't need to go through that experiment yourself. But what about the flip side, my friends? You may be somebody who doesn't even frequent a fast food place. The thought of it just is not a part of your vocabulary. But you go out there, you get your kale, you get your greens, you get your spinach, and you get it home. You spend good money. You take it home. You're gonna have it with your dinner and stuff like that. Unfortunately, that again is a problem because the thing has been sprayed to death, right? It's like, wow, there's no minerals left in the soil like it used to be back in the day, and the foods have been depleted of its necessary ingredients, right? So we're dealing with some stuff here, and I'm going to share with you guys something that I feel is a massive solution. So if you're not somebody who goes and gets your greens, your vegetables, and all the things that we know is good for us to be having, and let's be real here, guys. A lot of this stuff, a lot of the foods out there, the price of groceries in 21st century living is expensive. All right, so we know, and sometimes the choice of getting some of those fast foods and stuff, because of just cost reasons, they come at a price that some people can afford rather than spending money on the things that they would love to go for. And so, guys, I'm going to talk to you today about what's been happening as a result of that. And this gentleman here, over 100 years ago, Otto Heinrich Warburg, he demonstrated that all forms of cancer develop due to two basic conditions, my friends. I mean, he won a Nobel Prize back in 1931 for his thesis on the primary cause and prevention of cancer. Now, let me ask you a question, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think that in 1931, they had some of the cancer issues that we have now in 2026? Do you think there is more of an issue with cancer than there was back in 1931? Feel free to post in the chat. There was a chat function on the Zoom, and you know, I'll be interested to get your feedback. I personally believe that back in 1931 we had nowhere near the levels of childhood cancers and things of that nature. Like, it wasn't even growing up in my lifetime, I couldn't believe that children were getting cancer, right? And all different forms of it, lupus and all things of that nature, so many different variants, right? And so he wrote this: the metabolism of tumors developed due to those two basic conditions: acidosis, which is acidity of the blood, and hypoxia, lack of oxygen. Absolutely, Rosemary. Yes, absolutely. Definitely more now than ever. And we've got information on our fingertips, and yet we are one of the most, I think, in human history, the most health challenged generation. Okay, and there's many different reasons for that. But look at that, my friends. Did he say some? Did he say many? No, he said all forms of cancer are due to those two things. And guys, we're going to talk about those very two things on this call tonight. Head on, boom. We're not sidestepping it. We're not talking about anything else. We're going to address those two issues: lack of oxygen and acidity of the blood. He goes on to say cancerous tissues are acidic tissues, healthy ones are alkaline tissues. Now, I first came across this information about 30 years ago or so. Unfortunately, I lost my cousin due to breast cancer, and I never knew about all this stuff. She was not even 40 years old, and it really shocked me. And I started to learn about the body, and up to that point, you know, it was never a thing. We never had, not in my personal close family, somebody that I knew dying so young. And I started to listen and learn from guys. I would fly to the States, go to seminars about products that would help shrink tumors. I started to learn about alkaline and acidic, and never knew anything like that up to that point. I was so blind, and this was me in my early 20s. Now, this gentleman here, like I said, he won a Nobel Prize back in 1931. He said cancer grows in oxygen-deprived acidic tissues. So one thing I knew back then, which I didn't know prior to my cousin passing away, was that disease cannot survive in an alkaline body. So your body needs to be more alkaline than it is acidic. There's part of your body that needs to be acidic in nature to break food down and so forth and so forth. But the problem we have, in my friends, is that the acidic nature of the foods that we eat, the environment, everything, is causing a major issue to our health. All right. And so we're talking about things that are, you know, we're looking at what we can do to help our bodies improve, fight itself, our immune system to be more in a better alignment, and go back to, you know, some form of protection for ourselves to even have a chance for when things do happen to us. It's got a fighting chance to deal with it. Okay, so it says here, deprive a cell 35% of oxygen for 48 hours and it may become cancerous. I mean, I wouldn't want to, you know, even chance that, my friends. Not even chance that. So we're going to also talk about a thing called free radicals. Yeah, yes, not a rap group, not a political group, but we're talking about something that takes place inside of your body. So a free radical is isolated oxygen atom, and excess, it becomes harmful. So let's just have a look at the little video on the left hand side here. This is cellular oxygenation. Look, so we want our cells to have oxygen in them. Okay, it is so crucial. I didn't realize how crucial it was up until January, and more so in February, when I became part of this amazing outfit, this company. So this is what happens when you've got good cellular oxygenation. Your body is protected, your cells are protected. But what happens when it gets broken down? This is what happens. The free radicals overrun your body, and we're going to look at the effects of that, you know, because everything is cause and effect, right? We're going to look at the effects of what happens to your body. And again, this research goes back to 1954, where again there's a link there that you can do your research on. I wonder if I can copy and paste this into the group there. No, I can't. I'm going to leave it. But anyway, you can do your research if you need to get these slides. reach out to the person who's invited you. Where there's an overwhelming, guys, amount of studies showing the link between lifestyle disease and free radical damage. Okay, this is the after effect. This is the cause and effect of what's going to happen if you don't temper that in, if you don't deal with the free radical damage that's going on. This is just a part of a laundry list that you do not want to be associated with. We're talking about cardiovascular disease. You know, number one and number two, guys, is cancer and cardiovascular disease. Diabetes running rampant throughout communities. Age-related diseases. Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. You mentioned cancers, metabolic disorders. Now, it's not me that wrote this. It's not Timol that wrote this. It's Dr. Richard Cutler, who's the former director of the National Institute of Aging. Do you think he might know a thing about aging? I think he does. He said the amount of antioxidants in your body is directly proportional to how long you will live. So as much as those fruits and veg that I showed earlier looks nice, and yeah, it's nice to have, it's not just nice to have, guys. It's actually essential to have. All right. And so we're talking about something that your body is going to need. You need to reduce the amount of free radical damage. If you don't, guess what? You may start looking older than your time. Now, I know nobody wants to voluntarily look older than their time, right? We always want to look younger and get compliments. If somebody says to you, oh, you're not looking bad for 70 and you're 50, that's going to mess you up, right? You know that. So you do not want to look older than your time. So we're talking about getting into your body the things that you need, and in a way that you don't have to spend a fortune to do so. To tackle this head on, my friends, we're talking about reducing acidity and free radical damage. And I'm going to show you, if you've never come across magnetized water, and even if you have before, I'm going to show you how this company has done something which is an absolute game changer. So with that said, I'm going to play a short video and then we'll be back and go into.
When we are thirsty, we fill a glass with tap water or drink some water from a plastic bottle. After all, water is water, right? Magnetized water is popular in Japan. But before we get to know its properties, it is important to understand how and what happens to magnetized water. If you take some water to analyze, you will notice that its molecules are disordered. This is because of the minerals. When submitted to magnetic fields, the molecules turn back into their normal state, which makes the water more beneficial to our health since it heightens the energetic balance of the body and strengthens the immune system in general. That's why magnetized water helps prevent many diseases of the human body. Did you know that more than 70% of our bodies are formed by water? We need to replenish water to eliminate toxins from the body, hydrate tissues and cells, help the kidneys, facilitate blood flow, to fight bloating and boost immunity. Some of the benefits of magnetized water are: helps in nutrition and hydration of cells, aids in cell cleanse, reduces blood acidity and the excess of free radicals in the body, increases the oxygen in cells and blood, makes the hair softer, moisturizes the skin, leaving it soft and healthy, aids in the prevention of many diseases, lowers blood sugar levels, preventing diabetes, helps prevent many types of cancer, reduces the risk of osteoporosis and fractures by increasing the bone density and bone resistance, avoids premature aging, increases energy levels. According to studies published by the National Institutes of Health, USA, drinking magnetized water means more quality of life. If you already knew about magnetized water, tell us what you think.
Okay, I always will stop that there because we are going to tell you exactly what we think. We think it's absolutely amazing, my friends. So, all the benefits that you heard on that video, we're going to do a deep dive in, right? And so that you really understand what's actually taking place here. So the chemical reaction of water when supermagnetized is known as water hydrolysis. So H2O is going to dissociate into OH minus and H plus. So you've got easy for you to say, hydroxide ions and hydrogen ions on the other side. Now, why is that important? This is important because now I know, and now I knew for sure, the reason why I wasn't enjoying drinking water. I mean, hands up, if you're like me, didn't enjoy drinking water. struggled to drink water, never really drank more than 1.5 liters, and it was clearly obvious that I wasn't drinking enough water, right? You know, right? When you go to the washroom, it's clear you're not drinking enough. I definitely wasn't. Now, until I got introduced to this company, now this is a total different person sitting in front of you today. So there's clusters that I get left behind. These hydrogen ions leave these clusters, and it makes it challenging for the body to process it in order for your cells to receive it. So your cells need it, but are your cells getting it? Well, we're going to look at that in a minute. So we're going to introduce you also to a way that calcium and magnesium, these minerals found in water, reacts with the hydroxide ions and forms this alkaline hydroxide. So this is what we want to get our bodies into, my friends. So when consuming magnetized water, it helps reduce the body's acidity. Voila. Fantastic. So again, absolute game changer on how this company's actually done it. So H2O dissociates in OH minus and H plus. So we also spoke about free radical damage that's going on. So what happens here, when you drink this water, the hydrogen ions react with the excess free radicals in your body, forming water. Now, guys, that's, for me, it was like, I didn't fully get that. I had to watch this several times to say, wait, you're telling me that by me drinking this water, it's gonna by default, it's gonna reduce the free radicals in my body. No wonder why when I first started to take it, I was going to the washroom more often than normal. Now, and again, people who drink a lot of water, and I wasn't one that was in that camp, but other people who've drank a lot of water, and they're like, man, it made me go to the washroom. I said, yes, it's designed to, because it's gonna naturally detox you, get rid of stuff that shouldn't be in there. I've had people even complain that they were passing too much wind. Well, guess what? They were full of wind. They needed to get that out of their system. It's not meant to be there just for fun, right? Your body is telling you, I need to release, I need to remove this out of my body. And what better way of doing that by a product that helps you naturally go to the washroom? And some people haven't gone to the washroom in a long time. They're backed up, right? They're backed up. I was going to say some people are full of, but I'm not going to go there. It's a family show. But you know what I'm talking about, my friends. So did you know this? 70% of your body is made up of water. Anybody in here that didn't know that? That your body is made up of at least 70% water. Now, it's one thing knowing about something. There's another thing doing something about it. There's a lot of things I know that I should be doing. Am I doing them? No. It's no better than somebody who just didn't know about it in the first place. So the mere fact my body is made up at least 70% water. You know, if I'm somebody who likes to drink these sugary drinks and coffee and all that, and I'm not really drinking enough water, it's no surprise I might, go around with a bit of a headache. I might feel lethargic. And trust me, if your body is lacking something, it's going to find a way to get it, right? And you don't want the body to start to find it within itself. You need to replenish it, just like your car. You would not put your car at danger. You know you're going on a journey, just sitting in the car, driving the car, and you can see that the radiator is low on water. You haven't got enough oil in there, and you're just like, you know what, we'll be good. You wouldn't take that risk on a car. Why take the risk with yourself? So here was the big thing for me. I knew I should be drinking more water, and I wasn't doing it. Now, I was buying better quality water, my friends. I wasn't no cheapo, all right? Despite what some people may think of me. I wasn't no cheapo. I was spending good dollar on my water, and yet I still was struggling to drink more than 1.5 liters. So if you're in your camp like me, you're in good company. So it's not just the amount of water. What about the quality of the water? So it's not just about quantity. What about the quality? And so this, my friends, was just a real, like an eye-opener. This gentleman here, another doctor, Dr. Laya Ribeiro, you're going to hear from many different doctors with their quotes or whatever, because I'm no doctor, right? My background's IT, my background's, I help you with your wallet, I help you with setting up a trading account, but I couldn't tell you and diagnose you about anything because I'm not a doctor, and none of us are, I don't believe, on this call. And the great thing is you don't need to be, right? Water is something that I don't think we need to really ram home the message that we should be drinking more of. but again, you're going to see the after effects when you don't. So water determines disease, determines health. Appropriate adequate water restores health. Ionized water hydrates, alkalizes, antioxidizes, and detoxifies. Water can be used as medicine, so said Dr. Laia Ribeiro. Now, you could be somebody who gets really good water in your home, and I hope you do. I hope you've got a really expensive filtration unit in home, cleaning up all those nasties. Okay, some places around the world, you wouldn't want to drink the tap water. Some places around the world, you do want to drink the tap water. It just depends where you are. For the most part, you know what's coming down those pipes, and those pipes have been laid down way before all of us were alive. And you could imagine what's built up and what's coming down the pipe may not be to your best benefit. So bottled water, of course, we've now got a bit of issue with, you know, microplastics. We've heard so many different things around that and what it's actually doing now and having a massive effect to people's health. So what do? Shoot ourselves? No, of course not. We have a solution, my friends. Like I said, water has a difference. Every water that you drink, and again, water that does not hydrate against water that does hydrate. What is the difference? The difference we're going to show you in a minute. So imagine, my friends, if this was you, and I hope this is not you, a version of you, right? We don't want to have your body, your cells swimming in water that is acidic. So that's represented by what you see on the right hand side. A fish tank where you can barely see through it. You know, if your blood is so thick and it's just swimming around, it's cloggy, you know your body is not of optimal health. There's a problem. There's no oxygen. Does it look like there's any oxygen on the picture on the right? No. Look at the one on the left. Completely different ball game. It's like going to a 7-star resort in Dubai and then going to the worst motel in the hood somewhere that, you know, you can barely close the door with 10 locks behind you. That's like the difference between what you're seeing on this screen here. So your body is what it needs to run at full optimal level, guys, and give it what it needs. And we're going to really show you exactly what it needs. The question here, what type of magnesium is being used? Great question. Send me $1,000 and I'll tell you. No, it's a dolomite stone. We're going to be talking about exactly the breakdown of it, but the dolomite stone, and the benefits of that are just immense. In fact, we'll talk about that a bit more when we get to the testimonials on the product. So you can see that the one on the left, and the one thing I know about human beings, working with them, being one myself, is when people spend money on something, that's where they spend a lot of focus on. All right, you spend money on something, you spend good money on a nice fish tank, you got everything in that. There's no way you would want it to be looking at the one on the right. Okay, but sometimes, unfortunately, in some situations, because we didn't necessarily pay a physical price for our bodies, it's only when something happens to our bodies then we actually do end up paying the price, right? In terms of dollars to make ourselves well again. Somebody was saying the other day that you could be a billionaire, you can have all of this property, you can have everything at your disposal, but you get sick. You can't think of anything else. You couldn't even care about how many properties you've got, what passive income you've got. No, your primary, and the only thing you can see is that you want yourself to get better. You want to feel the way you used to feel. And guys, since being on this product, I must say, I feel like I'm 10 years younger than I actually am. So I'm you know, probably about 21 years old now, right? But this water, when we get it, does it look like it came from a spring, a waterfall, or does it look like it's been sitting in a garage somewhere for years? When I buy my water, you know, I go to the grocery store, buy these big 15-liter water, and I have to wash it down. The dust that's on it. I'm like, where's the thing sitting? What warehouse? Right? So there's all these chains, but by the time you get it, it's definitely not in that state. And so what we have with magnetized water, we have a product that's going to break it down, guys. It's going to bring it back to the state, to its natural state of when it was moving. You know, they say the new smoking is sitting because we sit too much. We spend too much time in our chairs. One thing I love about this product, guys, when you take it, you ain't going to be sitting in your chair. I'll tell you what, you're going to get up and use the washroom. And when I was first doing these Zooms, I would be running to the washroom when I play the video. But now I'm good, right? But this magnet that you see in my hand, this is part of the equation. This is only half of the story. So let me tell you the other half. In fact, I'm going to let this guy introduce the dynamics of what we're talking about. So guys, sit back for the next 2 minutes and I'll play another video.
First, the water that most people drink has lost its original structural characteristics from when it was alive in nature. In springs, streams, and rivers, water is constantly moving. This favors its oxygenation, in addition to its structure being composed of small molecules, which increases its hydration power in the body. When water is stored or kept in containers, its surface tension is altered. Thus it becomes much heavier, with the formation of large molecule clusters, which are completely disorganized and lose oxygen. This molecular change compromises the penetration of water into cells that form organ tissues. But the original characteristics of water, so necessary for a good cellular hydration, can be restored. This is where magnetic treatment comes in. When water is subjected to a magnetic field, an event called hydrolysis occurs, which means breaking up of water. That is, the movement caused by the molecules causes a rupture of the clusters and promotes rearrangement into much smaller structures. Thus, these H2O molecules penetrate the cells much more easily, promoting better cellular hydration and cleaning. The second point observed in the various studies carried out with magnetized water is that it contributes to a reduction of excess of free radicals. How does this happen? When water undergoes magnetic treatment, there is an ionic dissociation, that is, the H2O water molecule formed by two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom breaks up, releasing hydroxyl ions and hydrogen ions. Excess free radicals that are present in the body are negative ions, and they combine with hydrogen ions forming new H2O molecules, thus removing them from the body. This is a very simple chemical equation that has been observed by several researchers. The third point is about the contribution to the maintenance of blood alkalinity, helping the mechanisms of our body. In hydrolysis, as we have seen, there are negative hydroxyl ions left over. This hydroxyl reacts with magnesium and calcium ions present in vital environments of our body, forming alkaline hydroxyls, in this case magnesium and calcium hydroxyls. These reactions help in the maintenance of blood pH and oxygen content. It is for all these reasons that water treated magnetically helps in the maintenance of good health.
All right, so as you heard there, guys, we're going to break that section down in a bit more detail. Excuse me. He's still talking.
First,
Well, he still looks like those old dubbing clips. So let's look at this, guys. This is your cell, right? This is where we're going to kind of break down this in more detail here, right? So we're going to talk about what exactly happens to your cell and why some people are hydrated and some people aren't hydrated. Now, your cell has those entry points where it needs to be, receiving nutrients, it needs to have oxygen, it needs to be hydrated. Without that, you're going to have a cell that is not receiving all the goods that it needs, right? There's so many factors to that. So let's just look at what happens with your water in general, all right? Well, we spoke about these massive clusters that take place. So what happens when water does not hydrate you? Because again, the audience I'm speaking to right now could be somebody who drinks a lot of water, still don't feel quite hydrated, still feels quite parched, maybe even lethargic after drinking a good amount of water. And you should drink at least 50, if you're about 50 kg in weight, you should drink at least 2 liters of water. And obviously above that, drink more based on your body mass. So this is your cell. This is what happens with these clusters. We spoke about those ion clusters. At best, you're getting partial, penetration into the molecules there. It's not really hydrating your cell properly. Partially doing it at best, right? Now, what happens when you get the magnet? Which is, like I said, this is half of my dynamic duo that I'm going to introduce you to. This magnet, which sits in your water, breaks it down. It just constantly breaks down the molecules so that it's now light and better absorbing. So you get that situation. Whoops, let me just go back there. You get that situation there where you see in the cell, the water actually hydrates. Okay, so lighter, better absorbing water. I kept hearing, guys, from people, they kept telling me, oh, Leroy, man, this water, it tastes like it's just come from the springs in Jamaica and stuff like that. And I said, get out of here, man. And I started drinking it, and I must say, it was really refreshing. Guys, on that note, I'm just going to stop the share. I'm going to mix it up a little bit. because somebody sent me a video to really go along that today. I've been saying to him, where's my video? And a friend of mine shared with me this video. I want to play it to you real quick before we continue with the meeting here. And you know, this guy, let me see. All right, let me pause it. Let me pause it. Some of you might know this guy. He's out from in London. I introduced him to the product, and he took it. And this is what he said. Let me turn my video off.
Hi, my name's Lincoln, and I have been taking this water. Now, when I first was introduced the water by Leroy, I thought, yeah, water's water, but he was saying there's magic in the water. So I thought, let me just give it a try. I would say that this water tastes different. It really does. It's got a nice flavour to it. Water with flavour, interesting. But it's got a flavour to it, which I cannot describe at the moment. What I can say is that it's doing something to my body. I've been taking it for about 2-3 months now, and it's giving me a new freshness, new energy, and it's doing something to my cells, which I cannot explain at the moment because I'm feeling a difference. I'm sleeping better, I've got more energy, working out a bit more, and I'm more aware and more alert. So I can say that for you that hasn't not tried this yet, give it a go because it's worth the try, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. Sip it and see what happens. All right, take care.
There you go, my friend. So let me just go back to the slideshow. So I wanted to share that with you because he literally dropped that to me today, and I'm like, yeah, that's good. I'm glad you shared that because he told me. But it's one thing telling me, and it's one thing actually, you hearing it from the horse's mouth. Because I rather people hear it from the person rather than me, telling you, oh, this person said X, Y, Z, right? So, and we got, like I said, we've got tons of testimonials, guys. We just, one day we're just going to literally have just video testimonials, people coming on sharing, because there's so many lives are being made better because of them being introduced to Timol. So there's 3 benefits of magnetized water, guys. And if you could just at least get one of these for your body, will be amazing. But the mere fact that we get 3 of them, oh my goodness, it's unbelievable. So alkalizing of the blood, just to remind you guys at the beginning of the call, the 2 things that Otto Weinrich spoke about, alkalizing of the blood. He spoke about oxygen, lack of oxygen in your cells, and the danger of not having enough oxygen in your cells, what that does. And then spoke about free radical damage, the amount of research that's linked to that. And do your own research. Don't believe a word I say. Do your own research on what happens when you deprive your cells of oxygen, what happens when you have free radicals, and what happens if your blood is acidic in nature. Guys, this is a game changer. So good health, healthy life is the company's main goal. Now, you may or may not have heard of this company. I never heard of it. Does it make any difference? They still have been around for listen guys, 22 years, right? And 22 years is a long time, as us Arsenal fans know. 22 years, guys. Just think about it. 2004, this company was formed. I only knew about this company in January. Some of you guys have just known about this company in May. And there will be a year and 5 years from now, other people learning about this. Does it make any difference when you find out about it? But it's just important that you do, because I think this company is an absolute sleeping giant that the world needs to know about. And of course, this technology, do your own research. There's international research done on this. And don't think that this company was opened with welcome arms when they came with this information. I'm sure if you have something disruptive like this, it's not going to make everybody happy. Okay, we're not all going to be singing kumbaya around the campfire because this product is doing what it's doing. Heck no. And this company had enough pushback and whatever else you could imagine. What would you could if you bring a technology like this to the market in a country like Brazil, where there's extreme poverty, guys, that if you're making a difference in people's life like this, it's not gonna be a walk in the park. Now, what I really like is this certificate, because I'm always a big believer in documentation beating conversation, right? Show me something outside of you guys who are flying the flag for Timol. I want somebody who has no vested interest to tell me why they think this is a great company. And 10 years, guys, it took 10 years for them to recognize that this company was doing the right thing, right? There's certification here given by the WHO. Yes, the WHO, World Health Organization. And they officially declared that the recognition of the suitability of the Brazilian company Timol Ltda, if you want to do your research, as the only one complying with the standards and requirements of this institution for adapting a system or method of magnetic water treatment or correction as a system or method of health protection and recovery with scientifically proven efficiency. I really want to emphasize this scientifically proven efficiency. It's not just a bunch of us that have got a placebo and we're just like, you know, want some funny water here. No, this is actually real backed documentation, real scientifically proven. And again, the company is just doing amazing work 22 years down the road. And so, you know, I've just seen Simone on here. Welcome, Simone. You know, we have a great product, guys. This company, and I feel this is my drum roll moment, you know, when I need to get a proper drum. This is drum roll moment, you know. I feel to put some fire in the, whoever can put some fire emojis in the chat. This is the stellar, if I can flash a light, a neon light over Sylocimol, this product I would do, because this is Timol's super water magnetizer and mineralizer. So Dee was asking a question about what type of minerals. Well, you're going to hear exactly how amazing this is. This is a product, guys, that I mentioned, deals with the alkalization of the body blood, increased bone mineral mass. Now, what happens to us as we age? Our bones, our density gets more, they call it brittle bones and things of that nature. And this is a great way to increase mineral mass. You know, osteoporosis, we know that's you know, as people age, we don't want that. You don't want to, you know, if your loved one fell over and, you know, they break a bone, you know how long it will take to heal. Now, we've heard amazing testimonials of people who have unfortunately had surgery done, this done, and the healing process where the doctor themselves have thought, what are you doing? I've not seen bones heal this quick in somebody of your age, especially, you know what I mean? Not to say that they're older than their time. And I don't know why this guy does it. He always calls me when I'm doing my Zoom. I am close to strangling somebody, but I better not record that because it might happen. And increase in blood oxygenation, right? Increase in minerals in water by Top H Plus. Now, Top H Plus is the minerals. It's the one that gives you the calcium, the magnesium from this dolomite stone. All right. And again, I think Simone knows a doctor who was treating his patients with just the magnet, and he was actually adding the minerals separately until he learned about this company. So you know, it's amazing that it's just like those minds think the same way, right? So again, we're truly blessed to know about this company. How many different ways can you take this product, guys? So this is very portable, very transparent, very portable. The bigger version, the mega combo, is exactly the same. Now, there's one thing I forgot to mention, guys. Let me just break this down again. This mega combo treats up to 20 liters of water. So you can have an 8 liter jug, 5 liter jug, whatever. This treats up to 20 liters. This blue magnet here, can you see on the screen? I'm showing it. I've got a blurry background. But the blue one, which is the magnet, and the green one, which is the minerals, you put them together, they're your dynamic duo, my friends. They're the M&M. Yeah, they're my Run and my DMC, for those of you old school rappers out there. They are literally your body's defense. And they give the body what it needs. Those things that the benefits that you see on the screen. Now, guys, the mega one treats up to 20 liters of water. The mini one treats up to 3 liters. Now, the mega one might, you know, for cost per product, whoever's invited you on can tell you about the prices and stuff like that. We've got franchisees all over the world, so prices, you know, maybe in euros, dollars, whatever. they can tell you exactly what you're going to get for the mega or the mini, but they both do the same. Now the lifespan of this product, guys, it's literally, I don't know a more cost-effective product that does what this does than this product here. All right. So this magnet will last you 30 years, not 1 3, guys, 3 and a 0, 30 years. The minerals, all right, the dolomite stone will last you 3 years. So it's not a product you need to buy next month, next week, next year. Mark on your calendar May 2029. Okay, that is when you need to even think about replacing this one, and then go even further for the magnet, right? So it's crazy. So again, many different uses. You can have it in a jug, you can have it in a water bottle like I do. I have my 2-liter water bottle. This goes everywhere with me, guys. It's absolutely ridiculous. I have it on my nightstand at home, so it's the first thing I see in the morning and the last thing at night. It's literally my my go-to, right? If I'm going out, trust me, I have this in one hand and I have my cell phone in the other. It's just like yin and yang. This is coming from a dude who barely drank enough water, and now I'm kind of some water entrepreneur, right? Waterpreneur, all right? I'm now a water advocate for everybody because it is so amazing what it's done for me, and likewise, we're going to talk some testimonials in a bit about what it's done for other people. But so many different applications. If you've got a great filter in your helm, great. Add this to the mix, you know, next level stuff. So do a research, go do your thing, go look for Sylocimol. And like I said, I'm going to play a testimonial a bit later when we go into the testimonial side of things with a gentleman who had amazing results. I played this little snippet earlier before we started the call, because we do have a lot of amazing testimonials that are in Brazil because of this gentleman here, this young man here. I know Simone's on the call. I love her to you know, talk about this guy because she actually met him. Okay, not once, more than once, and more recently she just come back from Brazil, and she said she wanted to come back to London so that she can be part of the Arsenal parade. I'm sure she said something like that. But anyway, this is a unique product, my friends. Knowing the dangers of consuming poor quality water over long periods, Mr. Carlos Henrique Pereira da Silva founded Timol in 2004 with one mission in mind, my friends: to provide health and quality of life for people through high quality water that truly hydrates. I mean, without a question of a doubt, guys, I've traveled all around the world. I've never been to Brazil, and trust me, the moment I land on that soil, I'm heading for this gentleman's direction, and just to even shake his hand, because of what he's been able to do for my health, and let alone some of the other people as part of this company. So it's one thing knowing about the dangers and things like that, right? And people thought he lost his marbles, all right? And I know Simone probably can't talk because she's driving. Probably thought he lost his marbles. He wants to create this business with water and stuff like that. You know, he's very successful in his own endeavors. And yet he created this company which will outlive me, you, and everybody probably on this call, because it's now a product that you will just sit in your home. You heard what I said, right? One of the products lasts you 30 years, and the other one will last you at least 3 years. You're good, guys. You don't need to rush out and buy another one. Though it would be good for my commission if you did. So, Simone, whenever you're ready, just hop in. But I'm just going to keep rabbiting on. I need to change this slide. Please, please remind me. 22 years, guys. In the market, this company's been around now. Certification of integrity, headquarters up in Brazil, scientific evidence, you know, to prove that it was not just us who have been, you know, got this water and this funny water, and now we're all some water advocates. No, it's actual real research that has been done. Go on Google Scholar, as opposed to just your regular Google, and there's articles there that you'll understand why this is so amazing. Again, we're spreading the word, you know. I always give a shout out to Simone and people like Natalia and Augusta. You know, they have been instrumental in helping from going from you know, the English speaking countries, from the Portuguese in Brazil, where it's been there for 18 years at least before it even started to make its way out of Brazil. And now we know about it, and now this mouth will not shut up because we've got something worth shouting about. Hey, Simone, I see that you've unmuted yourself. Does that mean you are going to be talking to us? Let us know. I can't
Yes,
hear you
hi
yet.
everybody. Good
All right,
evening.
welcome.
You hear me, yeah?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Is a little low here, the volume for me. So yes, better now. Yeah.
Perfect.
So hi everybody. Yeah, I'm just. We did amazing weekend. Like I say, we was amazing project event in London, and I was there with so many people there, and everybody interested to know about the water. It was amazing to see people now start to think about, okay, I need to look after my health, and that's why so many different food like organic people start to change their food because they know they now start to have knowledge. How can I look after my body? So more people go to the gym, more people do exercise, more people change their food. And that's why I feel like, oh my God, when the people know about the water, they feel like, oh my God, I need this water. Because it's water, everybody drink water. And it's something is so amazing because the water is so much nicer. It's just hydrated properly. You feel like it hydrates your body. So people was there in the event, and it was amazing. It was everybody was wanted to try the water. Everybody was surprised, and they all the time they say, "No, I want to know more about." I say, "Yes." So you just need to come every Mondays and Thursdays. We in the meeting, and then you're gonna start to know us because for the people who already knows us, it's easy. Our friends, our family, they already trust us. People doesn't know, they need to trust us, so they need to come meet us every time we do a meeting or go to London, do an event, they come to meet us. This is the way we building as well the trust, isn't it, for the
Hmm.
because it's something like how water can help. Sometimes people don't understand. My daughter was the first one, even she believed in my friends. She look at me and say, "Mommy, you believe in everything. Water is water." So it's something for her doesn't make sense. And I know for a lot of people doesn't make sense when you think water can help you with so many diseases. It's because they go straight to your cells. The water needs to hydrate yourself. People drink water to kill the thirst. So this is the difference. Oh, I'm thirsty. I need water. That's it. Drink a glass of water. That's it for all day. Doesn't work like that. We need to learn why we drink water and why we need a good water. So this is the difference. That's why we are here every week to teach people, but the people have knowledge how important when you drink a good water, how different it's going to be in your life. Not today, tomorrow, in the future. So it's going to help you a lot when you start to drink a good water because you start to hydrate your cells and then it give you more energy. It's going to make your blood alkaline, eliminate the free radical. So it's so many things happen after you start to drink this water. So that's why everybody think my skin is much better. If I compare my skin today to 4 years ago when I started this project, and I'm glad I didn't say I want to. I'm glad I say okay. I want to try. I want to try this water. And today, always a bless. It's so many people I've been help. It's really a bless. It's a blessed project, isn't it?
It's beautiful. Absolutely. Yeah, it's that, like I said, it's that ripple effect. You know, you start to share it, touching that life start to share it, and then we're making an impact. I can't imagine my life without this. So it's incredible. My friend Glenn shared this with me, and it's probably the best thing he's ever shared with me, to be honest. And we do a lot of business over the years. By far, this has had the most impact for me for sure. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. And obviously, you got a chance to meet the owner. We've
Yes.
had his daughter on these calls before, and his son-in-law and stuff, Lucas. So it's really great to see that legacy. That's like I said, it will outlive us. This company. This is what you call a legacy company. All right, just 22 years young, and hardly anybody knows about it. It's
Yeah.
amazing, absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, so I'm going to go back to the slides. We are going to have a little time of testimonials. So thanks for sharing, Simone. Always great to have you on. And we are so grateful that you made that decision, right? So let's have a look. I'm going to show you, before we go into testimonials, we may be hearing from some people tonight. If you've got a testimonial, get ready to, raise your hand, and we'll come to you because we want to hear from people out there who's felt the benefits of this, right? So let me put the slide back on, and then I can let me see, come on. All right, here we go. It was messing up with me there. All right, so let me share my screen, and I will show you this. Now we always have to have a disclaimer, guys. We're not here, you know, I'm no doctor, as he said, you know, my background is definitely not medical. Sylocimol, it as well, is only intended to magnetize your water. So it's not intended to cure disease, all right? Magnetized water will be an adjunct in health treatment and will improve your quality of life by reducing acidity and free radicals in the body. Just it, that's it, plain and simple. As that advert, Ron Seal, just like it says on the tin, and I don't even know it says it on the box, but that's what it does. It reduces acidity and the free radicals. And as a result of that, we are having unbelievable testimonials, guys. So guys, if you, like I said, if you've got a testimonial, raise your hand. We'll come to you. I'm going to just go through a couple of these that you've seen. If you're brand new to the call, I didn't even ask. Sorry guys, if you're brand new to the call, please put a 1 in the chat, so I can, you know, welcome you to our Thursday call properly. I was too excited, guys. I always get so excited with these calls. I mean, look at this. This is unbelievable. You know, vitiligo issue here. One of the most challenging skin disorders, challenging, and you could imagine going from where he was before to where he is now, right? Pretty amazing. And you know what? I just realized I needed to do something else, guys. So I need to stop this share real quick. Just realized I didn't pause that. Do we have somebody new here? All right, yes, we'll let and Althea, welcome to the call, guys. Good to have you on. I realized I started the screen share, but I didn't unhide the slide I need to show you. All right, so I'll go back. This is what happens when you're the cook and the bottle washer. You gotta you gotta be versatile. All right, and do whatever's required, right? So let me go back to sharing the slides here, and we've got it's such a great product, guys. Just want to make sure I do a good job sharing this information. So you should be able to see the slide again. All right, so I want to go and show you. So we got that skin issue. How about this one, right? The before and afters on that one. This is a gentleman. I don't know his full backstory, but again, that is pretty amazing. So let me just show you a bit more closer. Oh, I did it the other way around. Should have shown you the before, but I can't see the before on that. But anyway, the before's here and the after. It's pretty amazing, right? Through just this one product, like how it's really getting into the cells, and unbelievable. You know, I remember growing up with a family member, and she always had to take this cream for her eczema, and it was, you know, it was painful. You know, when the skin was hard and stuff like that, it was taken to soften it, and it was nowhere near as severe as this. And I could only imagine that looks very painful. And so I'd love to hear the backstory on this one and what he looks like today. Absolutely fantastic. Look at him showing off like that. Unbelievable. How about this one? You know, this is, and we've got scores, I mean, tons of people who've, you know, who are diabetic, have taken this product and it's helped them in a lot of different ways. No more so than this one here. Now, guys, I converted this video into English. So there may be some bits and pieces that may ebb and flow in a way, but I want you to hear what happened for this guy who had this diabetes issue running in his family. So with that, I'm just going to play this short video and give anybody a chance to get their testimonial ready. Sit back and listen.
My name is Antonio Nath. I have lived here on Asia's boat for 41 years. I had a problem that my whole family has this problem with, which is the problem of diabetes. I also have a disease that had a fiber in my eye. And in the month of March, closer to March 16th, I was happy to cover my foot. And I don't preach. I preach in such a miniature way that it seemed more like a little tax. And the aggravating factor was that it must have been aglycosa. It was very high. It was 576. The suspicion was getting worse. I took 2 Bisatas and I had the necessary vaccinations. Nothing from Antonio. And on the 15th after, on April 1st, I was admitted to the Alberto Calicate Hospital. And when the doctor found out, the user was coming to justice. I already left home with the intention of amputating my leg. Because every time I don't exercise, as they are nurses, I remove that secretion, which he puts on his leg. Approximately 1 cmr of pus leaves this body. And when I arrived at Alberto Calicate, my brother was very high, almost 600. The doctor also took medication. I posted. I was hospitalized there for 40 days. But during this period, I called Pastor Vanderlei Sersan, who is my friend. And I asked him to take it to me, with the Sylocimol device. And because it was even here in my hand, I don't let go of him a single thousand. Because the doctor told me I would have a year to recover. And in fact, when I started drinking my 2 digits of water every day, 2 digits of corn water, I exchanged the water at the hospital with water from somewhere else, which was water treated with Sylocimol magnetization. And 40 days later, I was leaving the hospital from alcohol. The doctor did not believe in such a recovery. He said the recovery was coming. This is very difficult because it was 3 centimeters deep. Each foot on the foot there, on the right foot. And he told me that I would more or less have to stay in the pits for 6 to 7 months for this recovery. Doing daily treatment, 40 days of 3 and 3 days. Thank God, I joined, I believed, and they believe in Sylocimol. So please me, my 2 digits of water, my glucosa, I was already regulated to 600. It dropped to 90, when it increases a lot it goes to 10 and 20, which is also normal. I have 2 fizzes that have high Greeks, also that there are 3 years of others. Of you who drink water too and Greeks have already gone down. I've already seen and they've already gone down. I used to take insulin 4 times a day and today I only take it once a day. But so, it was a precaution, right, that the doctor comes here to my house to look at my foot. They are stagnant in seeing this recovery, in this foot, they saw that it left here to be cut. And I thank God first and, certainly, Sylocimol.
All right. So there you have it, my friends. That was pretty amazing to see, what happened for this guy. Didn't have to have the surgery, and I've lost loved ones who've had to have surgery and had to get their leg amputated. And of course, it's not a nice thing to have happen, especially when you're older in age. I won't call my auntie old, otherwise she will beat me. But that's the least you want. So if I, who knows, if I had this product beforehand, it may have saved her foot from being amputated. Who knows? But we've had so many amazing stories from people who've had diabetes issues. And again, we're not here, some people say, oh, will this product work for this, product work for that? Guys, it's just helping the body get back into a state where it's more alkaline than it is acidic, and reducing the free radicals. We're not here to make health claims, but just sit back and let the body do its thing, man. The body is amazing in how it can heal itself, but you've got to give it something to work with. You know what I'm saying? When my auntie was in hospital, they weren't giving them Fanta, they wasn't giving them Pepsi Cola, they were giving them water. And had I known what I know now about this water, I would be replacing that water with this one for sure. All right, guys. So again, if anybody's got anything they want, let me move on from there. Before we wrap up tonight, we are almost we're around the hour mark, so I like to make these recordings not too long. But again, pets, people who have pets, same thing, guys. They need water as well. They drink water all the time, so give your pets the best. We do have a pet specific product, which is the same product. So it's a big deal. How about plants, agriculture? Of course, they're not going to have the the small one or the 20-liter one, they're going to be using a much bigger one, right? Otherwise, they'll be there all day trying to, put the water out. But they have an industrial one, and their crops, they produce more crops as a result. We've had so many stories of their cows are producing more milk, for example. It's definitely doing something than not doing something. Okay, so again, the benefits are immense. Every person needs water, good quality water, and I couldn't think of a more easier way than this, that sits in your water bottle or sits in your water jug, where you can literally benefit from. So with that, my friends, Timol is here to really transform your life, giving your body the optimal health. We're very excited about this company, excited about this product. And on these calls, it's all strictly about the amazing health benefits. And for those of you who want to know about the other side of our business, we do those calls on a Monday. For those people who, we show how you can also earn an income alongside your new leisure life. Because if you're getting older, one thing you don't want to have happen is that your income is decreasing, as we know that typically will happen as you retire, and you're not working those hours that you normally may be working. We can have something that can run alongside of it without disrupting your day-to-day living. So with that, my friends, I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you very much for your time tonight. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure to be sharing with you this amazing company called Timol. We do this next Monday, same channel, same time, and get back to whoever's invited you. I want to have one of the ladies to have the final word. If Simone's on, or Gosta, or Natalia, any one of you who want to close out the meeting. And these guys are still trying to call me while I'm doing my Zoom. But if not, if you can't talk, I'll just close it out. If Harold wants to say the last final words, we'll close out the meeting on that. The time is well spent. It's an hour and change. And so with that, take care, guys. God bless. I'll have the recording posted as soon as I can. Share it, share it, share it. All right. All the best, guys. Take care. God bless.